Hello, my name is Matt Swieton, and I'm here at the University of Exeter. And I'm making this video here just to sort of help open-air museums understand how to make the most of what they think is exhausted flint. And so during my time at the University of Exeter, I've participated in the OpenArch project, and during which time I sort of implemented this technique to create learning cores as a pedagogical tool. And so in order to get the learning core, what we've done is simply take pieces of flint that, again, are thought to be exhausted, a fairly spherical, bizarre shaped piece of flint here, and to implement a method of flaking called the bipolar technique, which simply allows one to put the core on an anvil, a large rock or hard surface, and to come up and strike on top with another percussor, and the anvil on the bottom here acts as a de facto percussor. So what this method allows you to do is simply crack the core in half. And if you can succeed in cracking the core in half, what you then have are two cores on which you can practice and teach students and help understand the mechanics of flaking. And so what I'm going to demonstrate here is what I have a fairly, I wouldn't want to say spherical core, but it's an odd-shaped core that perhaps someone would consider to be exhausted. I'm going to place it on the anvil here. Before I actually do this method, I want to look around the core to see areas that will make clean contact with both the anvil here and the percussor. And so I have a fairly flat surface over here, which I'm going to end up putting on the anvil. Actually, I'm going to do that the other way around. The surface here is going to go down on the anvil because I know it's going to have a clean point of contact for the energy, and I'm going to come down right on top of it with the hopes of splitting the exhausted core here in half. So now what I've done, you see that other half of the core has essentially shattered, but in terms of flaking, I have exposed the surface from which I can then remove more flakes. And so the mechanics now work for me on a core that was once thought to be exhausted. So I can simply just go from the edge here. And so when I go through and try to rejuvenate these exhausted cores, when I was working with a lot of the students in open-air museums, a lot of the visitors, I would try to explain to them what platforms on isolated platforms would do versus not isolated, and looking at what if you struck deeper into the rock, like a non-marginal platform versus a marginal platform if you struck right on the edge. And you can go through and demonstrate this again. And there's no worrying about wasting good material because you're using material that you once thought was exhausted. You can go through and simply remove flakes and see what the flakes do to the core. And it's a good tool to show what preparation does if you want to take off flakes from the side and isolate certain platforms and abrasion and so on. So it's just a neat little trick to make the most of a very precious resource.